Well, hello everyone, my name is Swigo and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the Can You Beat Pokemon Platinum as a Team Galactic Grunt. We are continuing the Evil Team series and I know that you guys have been waiting for this for a very long time, so I won't let you guys down. But first of all, I want to give a quick shout out to Camimation Studios for making this amazing character sprite for me. I'm going to be using it in-game and it will look amazing. It will be like I'm actually playing as a villain, which is what he was going for, and he did a great job. So go ahead and subscribe to him. As a Team Galactic Grunt, you have a lot of Pokemon to choose from, those being Grogunk, Stunky, Zubat, and Bronzor, just to name a few. But you can have way more team members if you want to. I just picked these four because they looked so interesting to me and I thought that they made a good team. Team Galactic is one of my favorite teams in the entire series, so let me know in the comments down below what your favorite team is. I don't have to speak about the rules in this one because they're pretty obvious, but if you want to check them out, they will be in the description, just like my social media, Discord, and other types of stuff that you might need. And with that being said, let's get right into it. We start off by naming our character Zwigo, like always, and our character rival name is going to be Bob, because Bob is cool. After naming him, we go to his house and he pushes me out because he thinks that I'm Team Galactic, but I'm actually undercover as a Team Galactic Grunt. I tell him my plan, which is that I want to infiltrate Team Galactic and try and take them out for the inside together with Looker. After explaining my plan, we go inside to discuss a few more things and then we go into the tall grass. But wait, that's illegal, so Professor Rowan stops us. And he sees that we have some potential in us to become great Pokemon trainers, so he decides to give us a starter Pokemon. I decided to go with Stunky as my starter because he won't be that good for the early game, but eventually he will turn into a Skunk Tank, which is very good. I gave Bob Piplup because he will be the hardest to take down because eventually he's going to become a Napoleon, which is part Steel type, which I can't hit with a lot of poison moves, which I will have in my arsenal. Eventually we do take him down pretty easily with Poison Gas and Scratch, and then we head on. At the lake we have our first encounter with Cyrus and I tell him that I want to join his group and he accepts. He goes off and tells me that I have to collect some gym badges first so that I can prove myself. We head to the lab to name our Pokemon and I wasn't paying attention and just spamming A, and eventually my Stunky was named A, which is not what I wanted. Bob's waiting for us outside of the city after we got all of the clown tickets and now we have to fight him. His first Pokemon is a Starly, which we take down with a few scratches, no problems there, and then out comes this Piplup, and we poison him with Poison Gas and take him out with a few scratches as well. Apparently gym leaders don't get paid enough in this region because Rourke has to do a side job in the mines. We go and get him and challenge him to a battle. But that was not the best idea ever because his rock Pokemon take me down very quickly. We can't even get past his first Geodude, so I decided to grind up a bit. Grinding montage. So then I returned at level 20 and still it wasn't quite enough, but we did manage to kill the Geodude and get up to the Onix. And a few tries after that we managed to get to the Gyarados, but it still wasn't quite enough. So after hitting level 22 we learned Slash, which is a total game changer. And the run right after that we actually win because Slash is just what we needed. I always start off by screeching the Geodude to lower its defense, then 2 slashes take him down. And because we are so over leveled, their attacks really don't hurt us that much anymore, so we can take out the Onix with a few screeches and a few slashes after he heals up. Gyarados is up last, so I screech him and then we get a critical slash to take him out and we get the first gym badge. We then go ahead and catch a Zubat and we name it Zubatman because that's the only name Zubat can get on this channel. And a Bidoof, which we name God. Then we go to the Valley Wingworks to fight Commander Mars there. We start off with our Zubat, we switch out to get some switch training in, and we take out the Zubat with a few slashes, just as the Perugly. Not really that much of a challenge right here. I feel like it might be because we're a little over leveled, but then we head to the gym straight away after we clear out the forest. The second gym leader is Gardenia, which specializes in grass types. We start off with our Zubat against her Turtwig, and then we start spamming Wing Attack while he starts spamming Leech Seed and Reflect, which is very annoying, but eventually we do take him down. Her next Pokemon is Cherrim, and I managed to get in a couple of hits with Zubat before we go down, and then we switch in our Stunky and take out the Cherrim. Her last Pokemon is Roserade, and I have to start off with a Screech to lower its defense. We get paralyzed by Stun Spore, and then one Slash takes it out because it's a critical hit. After this, we have another talk with Cyrus at the Dialga statue. He tells us that 2 gym badges isn't enough. We need to prove ourselves even more, so we have to collect even more gym badges. But first we have to take down this organization of Team Plasma because they stole some Pokemon in this town. Cynthia gives us the HM for cut so that we can enter the building. We have to fight Saturn, but my Zubat has almost fainted already because of all the Team Galactic members. We get a hit in, but then we have to switch in Stunky. One Slash takes the Zubat out, and then last up is our Skuntank, so Stunky versus Skuntank. Who's gonna win? You already know it. Stunky takes the win. In Mount Coronet, we find a Bronzor and we capture that as well, but I forgot to nickname it. I'm sorry. Mount Cyrus is also in... what? We go to Hearthome City, we go to the contest hall, and then we meet our mom there. We tell her that we are undercover, and we go and talk to Fantina, who is actually French. So while I fight Fantina, I'm actually going to do a French voice. Ha! While we were training on the trainers in our gym, Zubat evolved into Golbat. We challenged her, but our first attempt sadly ended in vain. Our second attempt went a little bit better, so I start off with Zubatman. We start spamming the bite with Zubatman on the Duskull, but the Duskull starts to burn us with Will-O-Wisp, which is very annoying. Then we take him down with a few more bites from our croissant. Our next Pokemon is the Mismagius, so I switch into Stunky. I have teached my Stunky Thief, so this is going to be a very easy battle. We get confused a few times, then little bit of bad stuff happens, but eventually Mismagius goes down with a few thieves. Last up is Haunter, and this thing is also not that much of a problem, so a few thieves take that thing down too. We get the omelette de fromage from Fantina, and we head on with our life. So now I can finally talk normal again, and I have to fight Bob straight away. First off is Staravia, which comes out against my Golbat, and I can hit it with a few wing attacks before we go down. I then switch in Stunky, hit it with a slash and it's down. Next up is Ponyta and 3 slashes and the Fire Hordes is gone. Next up is the Prinplup, which is actually a pain in the ass right here. He manages to bring me down into red health, but I managed to poison it with a Toxic and eventually we take it down with a few slashes. Last up is Roselia, I hit it with a slash but we get taken out, so I switch in Bronzor and take it out with an extra sensory. We then head to the Vilestone City Gym where we have to fight Maylene, but she is a hard-hitting woman. She hit my entire team very hard with her Lucario. We did take out the Meditite and the Machoke without too many problems, but the Lucario is just a little bit too strong for us. So after the battle, I decided to grind up against the trainers on the next route, and my Stunky evolved into a Skuntank and learned Flamethrower, which is crucial. Also, don't ask me where his Flamethrower is coming from because that's nasty. After this little grinding session, I go back to her gym. She starts off with her Meditite and I accidentally started off with Bronzor, so I switch into Golbat. She goes for a Fake Out and then I take her down with 2 wing attacks. Next up is her Machoke, but I managed to hit a critical wing attack to take it out in 1 hit. Last up is her Lucario, so I go ahead and use a Confuse Ray. He hits himself twice in its confusion, and then we take him out with a 1 last wing attack before we win the gym badge. After we beat the gym, we have to help Dawn to get her Shrek DVD collection back from Team Galactic because they stole it. So we did that real easy and we go to the Safari Zone to capture ourselves a Quagsire, which is a great HM slave. We also capture ourselves a Growgunk, which we named Manny. If anybody could catch that reference, leave it in the comments down below. As we try to enter the gym, our rival wants to fight us once again. I lead off with my Bronzor because I knew that he was going to lead with Staravia. I tried to put it to sleep, but it didn't work, so I opted to go for extra sensory. After a few of those, eventually Staravia goes down and we only have 5 HP left. Next up is Ponyta, so I stay in and get hit by a Stomp. I switch in Manny to see what he can do, but he disappoints me by going down to 2 attacks from the Ponyta. I then switch into Zubatman to finish off the Ponyta with a few wing attacks. Last up is Prinplup, and I confuse it and hit it with a wing attack before we get taken out. Then I switch into Skuntank and hit it with a Night Slash to take it out. Last up is Roselia and hit it with 2 Night Slashes to take that thing down as well. We win against Bob, and next up is Crasher Wake. And boy, this damn thick boy is so hard to take down. His Gyarados, his Quagsire, and his Floatzel are 3 bulky Pokemon you might not expect it from Floatzel, but it's actually pretty bulky. At least he made it look that way. So I lost a lot of times because of the Quagsire. We did take out the Gyarados multiple times, but the Quagsire, we don't really have anything for that. so he takes down most of my team, and then when I get to Floatzel, he just Aqua Jets my Pokemon because I can never outspeed him, and then we go down. But I didn't want to overlevel that much, so I decided to try without leveling. Here's my strategy. I start off with Bronzor and I have to hit an Hypnosis to put the Gyarados to sleep because else I have to reset. After that, I switch into the Skuntank to take him down with 2 Night Slashes. While he switches in his Quagsire, I switch in my Golbat, I confuse it with Confuse Ray and start hitting it with Bite and get as much flinches as I can. After I almost go down, I switch into Manny to take a hit, then switch into Skuntank so that he doesn't heal, and then I take it out with a Night Slash. Then his last Pokemon, Floatzel, comes out and I have to hit it with a Toxic to poison it. I then hit it with a critical Night Slash, taking it into red health, but he heals up. I hit it with one more Night Slash before we get taken out by the Floatzel. I then switch into Bronzor to take the hit, and the poison damage takes the Floatzel out. After we get our next gym badge, there is a terrorist attack on the Safari Zone, oh my god. We then go to Celestic Town and fight off Cyrus there because he wants to blow up the entire village, and we can't let that happen. He now knows that we're not a real Team Galactic member anymore, so it doesn't even matter. His first Pokemon is a Sneasel, and I start off with my Skuntank. I take it down with 2 Flamethrowers. His Murkrow comes out, and that thing shares the same fate. We get some Bird Crow on the barbecue. So we defeat Cyrus, we get the HM for Surf from the old lady, and then we surf to Canlave City to fight our rival once again. So he starts off with his Staraptor and I start off with my Skuntank. I start Night Slashing it and he just spams Double Team, and we get lucky not to miss a Night Slash, so we take him down with 3 of those. Next up is his Fire Horse, so I switch into Golbat and start off with a Fly and then confuse him. 2 more Flies and Rapidash is down and out. Next up is Heracross, and I've already prepared a Fly, so we take that down in 1 hit. Next up is his Ace Empoleon, and you can see that this thing is pretty strong. I switch into Skuntank and start flamethrowing, hoping for a burn, but we don't get it. We do manage to get off 3 flamethrowers before we go down. I switch into Manny to hopefully take a hit and hit it with a Revenge, but oh, he's dead. I then switch into Bronzor to put the Empoleon to sleep, confuse it, and hit it with a lot of extra sensories before we go down. Only a sliver of health left, and Zubatman takes that away with 1 Fly. Last up is Roserade, so I go for another Fly, take it down into red health, and 1 more Wing Attack, and Roserade is out of here. After that fight, our Zubatman got so happy and evolved into a Crobat. Man. Going into the next gym, I already knew that this was going to be a hard one because we only have Flamethrower to hit his Pokemon with. So I had to find a strategy. I lost a lot of times, but eventually I figured out how to beat him. Without overleveling, that is. The biggest problem on his team was his Bastiodon, because we could barely do any damage to that thing because we didn't have a super effective move. So I checked my bag and I found a team for Dig, so I teach that to my Skuntank so that I can take out the Bastiodon easier because he's 4 times weak to it. His first Pokemon is Magneton, so I start off with my Zubatman. I start off by confusing it and then we go down to 1 Thunderbolt. I switch into Egg, hit it with a Dig, and he goes down in 1 hit because it's 4 times super effective. Next up is Steelix, so I switch into Bronzor and I put it to sleep so that I can get some free hits off with my Skuntank next. I switch it in, he doesn't wake up, and 1 Flamethrower does about half, so 2 of them take him out. Last up is his Bastiodon, so I switch into Bronzor to put that thing to sleep as well. Eventually we put it to sleep, I switch into Skuntank, and then 2 Digs manage to take out the Bastiodon. We acquired the 6th gym badge and we go to all the lakes to clear out the commanders. These fights were not that hard to do, so I'm not going to include them. We didn't lose any Pokemon in the fights and it was just way too easy. Although my Bronzor evolved into a Bronzong while I was fighting some Team Galactic grunts. We walked through the cold snow to fight Candace in her gym in Snowpoint City. But sadly enough, our first attempt ended in vain because her Frostlass swept my entire team with Blizzard. We then go in for our second attempt and our Bronzong takes down her first Pokemon Sneasel with 2 Flash Cannons. Next up is Piloswine, so I go into Manny but we get taken out by 1 Earthquake. I then switch into Skuntank, go for a Flamethrower, she goes for a Hail, and then 1 more Flamethrower takes down the Piloswine. Next up is Frostlass and I go for a Nightshade, I get the crit, and she goes down. Last up is Barack Obama, Snow, and then I hit it with a Flamethrower to totally evaporate it. So after we get our gym badge, we go to the next lake where our rival has lost to Saturn, we calm him down and we tell him that we have to save this world. While I'm in the Team Galactic hideout, I find the TM for Sludge Bomb, which I teach to my Crobat. My Krogunk also evolved into a Toxicroak. We then have to listen to Cyrus, who's giving a speech about Twitter, where you can follow me on, by the way, link in the description. We then follow him up to his office and we fight him over there. His first Pokemon, Sneasel, goes down with one single revenge of my Toxicroak after we get hit with an Ice Punch. Next up is Golbat, so I switch to Bronzong and start hitting it with extra sensory. He hits me with Bite, which does a lot of damage, but eventually we take him down into red health. He heals up, we take him down, but we're only left with a few HP. Last up is Hansgrohe, so I switch into A, I hit it with a Flamethrower and then poison it with a Toxic. I hit it with another Flamethrower before we go down. And then go into Crobat, hit it with a Sludge Bomb, almost take him out because of poison damage. He's left with 1 HP, he hits me with a Drill Peck, I survive, and next turn I take it out with another Sludge Bomb. Next we have to beat the other admin in the basement who is keeping Uxie, Mesprit and Azelf captive, so we beat him up rather quickly and we set the legendary Pokemon free. Then we climb up to the top of Mount Coronet and we have to fight a double battle with our boy Bob. Getting into the fight, they start off with 2 Bronzors and I start off with Skuntank, and my rival starts off with Munchlax. He doesn't really do that much throughout this fight, so I'm doing most of the work here. But throughout the fight, a lot of our Pokemon actually died because we can't take that many hits. And we are severely underleveled for this point in the game, so I'm very afraid of facing Cyrus in the Distortion world, because I know that he can be a pain in the ASS. Eventually though, we do defeat the 2 commanders, and then Cyrus spawns Dialga and Palkia with the red chain around them, and they create a sort of black hole where Giratina comes out of, jumps at the screen, which is very scary. We jump into the portal with Cynthia and we arrive in... oh no, not this again. Whoa, that was weird. So after clearing the entire Distortion world, which took me a long time, I finally arrived at Cyrus and he wants to battle me for the final time. But this fight, as I may have expected, was very hard, just like always. His Gyarados combined with his Hansgrohe and his Houndoom are just an amazing combo against my team. And so eventually I snapped and I didn't think that it was possible, so I went back and grinded up my entire team to level 50, and I had to go through the entire Mountain Coronet once again. Then I arrived at Cyrus and I won my very first attempt after that, so maybe I overleveled a little bit, but I'm going to need it for the Pokemon League anyway. His first Pokemon is a Houndoom, which gives me a lot of problems every single time I try to fight it. He always burns me or kills my Skuntank, and in this one, he manages to kill my Skuntank, but I managed to get him down into red health. I switch into Crobat and hit it with a Sludge Bomb to take him out. Next up is Weavile, so I switch into Toxicroak, I get hit with an Ice Punch and the Revenge takes out the Weavile. Next up is Gyarados, so I switch into my Bronzong and put it to sleep. I then confuse it, hit it with a few extra sensories, he switches in Hansgrohe, I switch in my Toxicroak, and then I can hit it with one more Poison Jab before we go down. I then switch into Crobat, confuse it with a Confuse Ray, hit it with a Sludge Bomb to take it out. Next up is Gyarados, but he heals him up after I hit it with a Sludge Bomb, which is very sad. I do manage to get him down into red health, I switch into Bronzong, hitting with an extra sensory, and he goes down. The last Pokemon is Crobat, so I put it to sleep with a Hypnosis, and then I hit it with 2 extra sensories to take it out and win ourselves the final battle against Cyrus. And now we finally have the chance to capture the big boy Giratina. But we're not gonna do that, we're just gonna kill it. 2-3 Night Slashes of our Skuntank to take it down. We go back into the portal and we arrive in... ow.
This is what happens when you're not hydrated. Stay hydrated, kiddos.
Now it's time for our final gym battle with Volkner. His first Pokemon is Jolteon, and I hit it with a Dig and he lives with a sliver of health. He hits me with a Charge Beam and then heals up. I then hit it with a Night Slash, do half of his health. He hits me with another Charge Beam next turn, and one more Night Slash takes it down. Next up is Raichu, and I'm gonna hit it with 1 Dig to take it out. Next up is this Electivire. I hit it with a Dig, but he heals up with the Citrus Berry, and he Thunder Punches me and then hits me with a Quick Attack to take me out. I switch into Toxicroak to hit it with a Mud Bomb, but it doesn't kill, so he almost takes me out with 1 Thunder Punch. I can hit 1 more Mud Bomb before he takes me out with another Quick Attack. I then switch into Bronzong, hit him with an Hypnosis, and 2 extra sensories do the job. His last Pokemon is Luxray, so I put him to sleep and confuse him and hit him with 1 extra sensory before we get taken out. I then switch into Sabatman, hit him with a Sludge Bomb, he's in red health and hits himself in his confusion to take himself down. Onto the last rival fight of this run, so we go ahead and fight his Staraptor with our Crobat and hit it with 2 Sludge Bombs to take him out. Next up is Snorlax, and he hits me with a super effective Earthquake which almost takes me out, but Revenge does a lot of damage and I then take him out with a Poison Jab. Rapidash is next, so I hit it with a Dig, almost taking him out, and then 1 Night Slash finishes the job. I'll switch into Crobat because I know that he's going to send out Heracross. I hit it with a Fly because that's 4 times super effective and he goes down. Next up is Empoleon, and I have to take this thing down with a combination of 3 of my Pokemon. First, Golbat, which manages to confuse him. I then switch into Skuntank, hit it with a few digs before we go down. I then switch into my Bronzong, hit it with a Hypnosis and 2 extra sensories to take that thing down. Last up is Roserade. We hit it with 2 extra sensories to take that thing down too. The first Elite Four member is Aron, and he specializes in bug types, and normally this is the easiest Elite Four member, but sadly enough we just are so under leveled for this league right now that we eventually lose a lot of times against him. The big problem is his Vespiquen, because she always uses Defend Order, Attack Order and Heal Order, which are really annoying moves to deal with if you can't one-shot. Combine that with her bulky nature and you have an amazing Pokemon and the big threat to my team. So even if we manage to take out the Vespiquen, we also have to kill a Scissor after that, which is very hard because we have to keep Skuntank alive. Eventually, after enough tries, we manage to do it though. His first Pokemon, Yagmega, goes down in a critical Sludge Bomb. Next up is Drapion, and this thing almost took down my Skuntank because I couldn't manage to two-shot it with Dig. I had to use Dig, then Flamethrower, then Dig, then Flamethrower because he had a Citrus Berry, which is very annoying. But eventually we do take him down. Next up is Heracross, so I switch into Bronzong, which was a mistake, but we do get taken out. Next I switch into Batman and hit it with a Fly to take it out, and then Vespiquen comes out. And here you can see the true power of this Vespiquen. It just keeps on using Heal Order, Defend Order, Attack Order, Power Gem. Eventually, after spamming Heal Order and Defend Order a lot of times, we get a crit with Fly to take it down. Last up is Scissor, so I switch in Skuntank, but he has Quick Attack, which takes me out. I then switch in Toxicroak to hit it with 1 Revenge before we go down. So Crobat has to do this. He hits him with a Fly, but he heals up because he lives with a Slither of Health, and then 3 more Flies finish off the Scissor. So the next Elite Four member is Bertha, which is even harder than Aran. So I couldn't beat her. I had to grind up my entire team against Aran until I finally managed to beat her at level 62. Also had to teach Bronzong Grass Knot so that I could run through her team easier. I also teach Brick Break to my Toxicroak instead of Revenge. Then after all this preparation, I tried again. Her first Pokemon is Whiscash, so I started by confusing it and I then hit it with 2 Flies while getting hit with a Zen Headbutt in the process to take it out. Next up is Golem, so I switch into Bronzong and hit it with a Grass Knot, which is 4 times super effective to take it out. Next up is Hippowdon, so I stay in, I hit it with a Grass Knot, get a crit and take him out. Next up is Gliscor, so I switch in A and I hit it with a Toxic and then start hitting it with Night Slashes before we get taken out with 2 Earthquakes. I then switch in Bronzong, hit it with a Flash Cannon, but she heals up. I then hit it with another Flash Cannon, get the special defense drop, and hit it with an extra sensory to take it out. Last up is Rhyperior, and 1 Grass Knot takes her down too. The next Elite Four member is the Fire type user Flint, so I start off with my Toxicroak to hit the Houndoom with 1 Brick Break and take it out. Next up is Rapidash, which burns us with a Flare Blitz because we miss our Mud Bomb and we get taken out. I switch in Bronzong to take the bounce and put the Rapidash to sleep. I hit it with 2 extra sensories to take it out. Next up is Flareon, so I go into Skuntank, hit it with a Dig, he almost goes down, hits me with an Overheat, and then 2 more Night Slashes to take him down after he heals up. Next up is Infernape, so I switch into Crobat to take him down with 1 Fly. His last Pokemon is Magmortar, and I stay in to hit it with a Sludge Bomb and confuse it with a Confuse Ray before we get taken down by Thunderbolt. I then switch into Skuntank, hit a Dig, and take him down. The last Elite Four member is Lucien. He starts off with a Mr. Mime, which we take down with one Night Slash. Next up is Bronzong, so I switch into Toxicroak, hit it with a Brick Break before we go down. I then switch into my Skuntank, hit it with a Flamethrower, he heals up, hit it with one more Flamethrower, burn him, two more Flamethrowers, take him down, and we get hit with one Earthquake in the process. Next out is Alakazam, I hit it with a Night Slash and he goes down in one hit. Espeon also gets one shot, and last up is his Ace Galade. I hit it with two Night Slashes before he takes me out with one Stone Edge. I then switch into the Batman and hit it with a Fly to take him down. Onto this champion Cynthia, and her first Pokemon as always is a Spiritomb, so I hit it with two Night Slashes, she heals up, and three more Night Slashes take him out, while we took a lot of damage in the process from Shadow Ball. Next up is Garchomp, so I switch into Crobat, hit it with a Confuse Ray, use a Fly, use another Fly. She then uses Giga Impact, and this is my moment because she can't heal up. I use a Bite and the Garchomp goes down in one hit. Next up is Togekiss, so I switch into Bronzong and put her to sleep. I hit it with a few Flash Cannons to try and get the special defense lowering. I get one, and then I get him into red health. She heals up, and then three more Flash Cannons takes out the Togekiss. Next out is Milotic, so I switch to Toxicroak. I get a critical Brick Break, and then we almost take her out, but she heals up, and then I hit it with three more Brick Breaks before we get taken out by Dragon Pulse. I switch into Skuntank to finish it with a Night Slash. Next up is Lucario, so I decide to stay in and hit it with a Dig, and we get taken out by an Aura Sphere. I then switch into Batman, finish her off with a Fly, and then the last Pokemon is Roserade, which can't take a Fly either, and then we're champions of the Sinnoh region. We did beat Pokemon Platinum as a Team Galactic member. This challenge was amazing to make and I really love this game. It's my second favorite Pokemon game. Actually, it's my third. My favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Emerald, and then my second favorite is Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and then it's probably Pokemon Platinum. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite Pokemon game is, and while you're down there, you might as well comment with a new challenge suggestion. But give me theme team challenges, don't give me solo Pokemon challenges. I will leave those to my dry bread. Closing down this video, I just want to tell you guys that I just made a Patreon. So if you want to sponsor the channel, it is totally optional. My videos are 100% free. I will never charge you to do it. But if you want to support me so I can buy better equipment and that I can maybe one day make my job out of this so that I can do 2 challenge videos a week, you can support me on my Patreon. The link will be in the description. So with that out of the way, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'm Zwigo, and I'll see you guys next time.